I've always been a fan of detective series, whether it was Monk or Columbo back in the day, or even Scooby-Doo when I was a child. It's a genre of TV that I find interesting and compelling, which is why I'm here to talk about my newest and all-time favorite television drama, Longmire. I remember hearing about the show a while ago, back when it premiered on A&E. I saw some of the commercials, and I would keep hearing on how it's being really well received, especially critically. And after seeing commercial after commercial, the show looked interesting. It looked like it was a neo-western, which is cool because it has all the elements of an old western drama, but just set in modern day. Just from these commercials, I could tell the show had a ton of style to it. And whenever you start blending western themes with other genres, oh, you know I'm all about that. And now, after watching the series for the past couple months and anticipating the final season to premiere on Netflix, I gotta say, I'm hooked. You see, the show gets a lot right. The characters fit the style and tone the show is going for, with everyone having incredibly interesting arcs and are continually growing. It seems like every episode puts them in a new situation, and it's awesome to see them build on their previous actions from other episodes or seasons. Or in some situations, the characters continue to make bad decisions and bad choices and don't learn from their actions, which is great because that keeps the conflict in continuous momentum. And the best thing Longmire gets right is misdirection, with the clever use of red herrings. And for those unaware, a red herring is a plot device or a tool used in shows that is intended to be misleading or distracting to the audience.
And the real monster is red herring!
And Longmire is filled with these in every episode, multiple times per episode. Which is great because a lot of times it's very difficult to predict who the culprit is or what the mystery is. And I could give you a ton of examples of different red herrings, but I want to focus specifically on one episode. The pilot episode. And yes, I will be spoiling the mystery for the very first episode, but I'm going to be covering it in pretty broad strokes. I'll try to leave some things out, especially when it has to do with introducing the characters or building on moments that happen in the first episode that we see throughout the series. So I'll try to leave those out so that if you haven't seen the episode, you'll still get a lot out of it in your first viewing. The episode's case is about a murder. A man was shot in the back in a field and doesn't reside in Absaroka County, Wyoming, which the show takes place. The man lives out of state and was shot by a particular rifle, one nicknamed the Horse Killer, and one of Longmire's associates say was most likely used by a professional. Walt looks to see who's registered this type of gun at his local gun shop, coming up with a couple results from some Cheyenne people living in Wyoming. The only issue is they live on the Cheyenne Nation Reservation, which Walt has no jurisdiction over. Also, Walt Longmire isn't welcome because he recently arrested their police chief for extortion. Back at the apartment, the deputy Branch remembers that the victim came into the station looking for a Cheyenne girl a few weeks back. Getting help from the local bar owner of the Red Pony, Walt is able to talk to the missing girl's mother, discovering that Lily, the missing girl, is involved in some sort of brothel. On the crime scene, the department finds a pair of pants belonging to a young man, who confirms that Lily is a prostitute. He tells Walt that they're using an RV to move the girls, and he can find out more if he asks the Indian at the Red Pony about it. Walt then goes to talk to Henry, the bar owner who helped him before, who claims to know nothing about this, and through further investigation, there's a Cheyenne guy who owns the RV working at the Red Pony as a waiter. And he's the one who has been escorting all the girls. So that's it, right? Case closed. Wrong. Because when Walt tries to talk to the RV owner, he's shot and killed by the real murderer, the gun shop owner. Is this a twist out of left field? No, it isn't, because it's already been established that the murder weapon had to be used by a skilled marksman.
Appreciate the help, Omar.
Bet. Hey, Walt. The Sharps is a sniper's weapon, and there are two types of people that like to kill from a distance. Cowards and pros.
One who has access to firearms, knows how to use them, who has been trying to make money on the side by sex trafficking young women, which isn't right at all, but that's what he was doing. You see, this whole episode was made to look like it had to do with the Cheyenne Reservation, when it didn't. When we first meet Henry, someone who we see in the very beginning of the show, and we see him right after the murder has happened, it's made to look like he's the culprit. When he's at the Red Pony, he's flirting with women.
I need a favor.
And I need a wingman. Gina here does not want to leave her sister. And I was just saying how my best friend is single, employed, and almost as charming as me.
When he helps Walt, he makes an offhanded comment about not paying for sex, but that's just Henry.
Heard of anything new about prostitution in the county or on the res?
Not my thing, never had to pay for it.
A huge and important character to the series, and one of my favorites. Of course, he's not the murderer, but with Longmire, nothing is what it seems. You see, episode by episode, season by season, the show continues to keep you on your toes. Whether it's throwing red herrings at you, or sometimes having the mystery be unresolved, having it resolve in other episodes to come, or in little tiny arcs, or even having some episodes mystery light and the culprit is very clear on who it is, and a lot of times those episodes really build on character development. Other shows do this, of course, but with Longmire, I'm just so shocked on how they pull it off so effortlessly. And let me tell you, there's a ton of effort and detail put into every single episode. Even in the first episode, we're subtly introduced to I'm talking major reoccurring characters. And the idea of conflict, socially and politically, with the reservation is totally set up within the first episode and is a huge theme throughout the entire series. And then any Longmire fan will know how important those steps are. And the fact that they set up that moment in the first episode, that just gives me chills. It's awesome. Longmire is just such a killer show. And if you have a Netflix, you gotta go check it out. It's a hidden gem among many of these great shows.